Storm of Swords is the third book in the Song of Ice and Fire. It continues with the War of the Five Kings as various factions compete for kingship. The Lannisters compete with Stannis for the throne. Robb Stark and the Greyjoys declare their independence. There is high drama in the far north, with Mance Rayder's wildlings approaching the wall, held by the Night's Watch. Daenerys sails west in her quest to retake the Iron Throne. Two massively iconic weddings in the trial are presented in exhaustive detail. Due to their brilliant retelling in the show, they become memes. And of course, many iconic character departures of the show are featured here as well. Storm of Swords continues to have a very human but also very pessimistic tone. The style of the book is the same as before. The plot moves slowly but is saturated with details that really absorb you into the world and the minds of the characters. They come alive as they do in the show. In Westeros, life is terrible and unfair, and things don't happen as we or the characters themselves expect. Hopes and dreams fail miserably in the end. Their greed and their desire to control others dominate the landscape. In a way, I see Storm of Swords as the final part of a high-quality trilogy, because the first three books are closely linked together. The books also cover the first 4 seasons of the HBO show. Seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4 are considered by the fans to be the best, before the show really started to decrease in quality. I would consider Game of Thrones and Clash of Kings to be perfect fantasy books. Storm of Swords is close, but there are some issues. The narrative remains highly detailed and interesting, but there's a decline in the quality of the pacing. The first half of the book is well balanced, but the second half suffers from a slowdown in the narrative. The character development also slows down, which makes the overall experience less absorbing. George R. R. Martin remains awesome at world building and creating a lot of new and interesting characters. However, the characters don't quite reach their potential. They could have been psychologically deeper than they are, and thus much more satisfying. For some characters, the psychological progression is too simple or even non-existent. There is also the appearance of scenarios that are used for shock value. George R. R. Martin also uses these scenarios to cut off loose ends and abandon plotlines. Potential psychological death and character progression are cut off because the characters themselves are simply destroyed. And it's not just minor characters that get destroyed. 4 of the biggest main characters are abruptly taken out of the story. Readers had a lot of investment in these 4 highly developed and important characters to the story. Now I get how George R. R. Martin does this to subvert expectations, but sometimes good characters should stay alive longer, at least until their character arcs achieve a satisfying closure. These guys still had a lot of story to tell. While the red and purple weddings were amazingly well told and well conceived as events, these disasters didn't need to occur so early. In a way, it just looks like George R. R. Martin is getting rid of old characters just to make space for new ones. The problem is that it wastes a lot of investment and time spent building up these characters over the course of some 3,000 pages. A better time to end their stories is with Dance with Dragons and Winds of Winter. But despite these problems, there are some very strong character arcs. Stannis Baratheon and his interactions with Davos and the Red Priestess are among the best in the series. Arya's dark adventure continues to be great, and the Hound develops into a great character. Jaime Lannister is a favorite and is written to be compelling and neither good nor bad. The Lannisters overall are the most interesting faction, with the troubled relationship between Tyrion, Tywin, Cersei, and Joffrey being very well done. Tyrion's character continues getting special treatment and way more focus due to being George R. R. Martin's favorite character. Overall, I give Storm of Swords a 4.5 out of 5. It has some flaws, but the outstanding aspects push it up a notch. Like the previous 2 books, it has a lot of epic and unforgettable moments that were captured in the HBO television series. As far as A Song of Ice and Fire goes, the first 3 books can be considered a masterpiece, with a decline in quality very soon to come. Unfortunately, the TV show also suffered a similar fate. Thanks so much for watching. Please help out this channel by liking, subscribing, and ringing the notification bell. And check out the playlists. Comment below on what you think about Game of Thrones and George R. R. Martin.